Bank holiday weekend in Bristol. Better than being on the motorway. Better to be here at the Seat Unique for the first double header of the T20 summer. Gloucestershire men taking on the Warwickshire Bears at 7 o'clock. But in just a little over 5 minutes, the Gloucestershire women start their campaign in this competition against Glamorgan. Delighted to be back with Dan Whiting. This is a change for both these teams. They've been playing 50 over cricket. This is the start of the shortest format.
Yeah, it certainly is. I covered the Northamptonshire game here, and Gloucestershire got turned over. Really, Northamptonshire did a number on them, but I'm looking forward to this. It should be an evenly matched contest, and it's always something on it with a seven-side derby, isn't it?
Yeah, delighted to have such a sunny day for this game. Hopefully it will encourage a few walk-ups, as they say in the trade, for later on. Let's give you the team news first of all. The Gloucestershire won the toss and they're going to bowl. I'll give you the Glamorgan side, and Dan can do the Gloucestershire side in a moment. Glamorgan thought to be probably one of the strongest in this competition. They got to finals day last year. They were beaten in the semi-finals by Yorkshire. They have the two Parfits, the two sisters in the team. Lauren will open the batting. She'll be number 7. Daisy Jeans will open with her number 23. Daisy Mullen is ex-Lancashire and Hampshire. She'll bat at number 3. Beth Gammon at number 4. B. Ellis, who has had some time here in the Gloucestershire system, at number 5. She'll wear 14. Eve Jackson, number 11, will bat at number 6. And then Gemma Porter, the curly-haired fast bowler, at number 7. She's number 85. The second of the Parfits, Georgia, she'll keep wicket. She'll bat at number 8. Charlotte Lambert, who's on loan from Surrey, studying at Exeter University, at number 9. Katie Cobb, Player of the Year in their academy last year, and Nicole Reid, the leg break bowler, making up the 11. The Gloucestershire side, fairly familiar lineup, Dan.
Yeah, reasonably. Becca Halliday, Emily Monday, she's come in, hasn't she, Emily Monday? Meg Ahern, who got 100 earlier this season. Georgina Start, Emily Geach, Prathana Reddy, Melissa Story, Liv Daniels, Alice Hill, Charlie Phillips, and look out for Alice Bird with the ball, who hoops it around corners as umpires Nick Piper and Hamal Wijasuriya make their way out to the middle. It's lovely to be back with you, Ian. I feel like, I'm back with my sort of ex-wife, and it's great to see Paolo and Anna's ice cream van here as well.
Yeah, I saw Paolo on the way in today. It is a day where I think his trade will be pretty good. The pitch just about central. They're going to use the same strip for both matches today, and Gloucestershire in their yellow and black, and the Glamorgan kit chiefly blue, Oxbridge blue you might say, but with the yellow numbers and the yellow batting helmets as well. One thing it's worth saying, just for ease of identification for you if you're watching on the stream, Glamorgan don't have a left-hander in their batting lineup. They are all right-handed, so if you want some help in terms of who's facing, there's normally the graphic on the bottom of the screen that will help you. But I must admit, I'm a little bit surprised that Liv Daniels wanted to bowl first, because this is a strong Glamorgan batting lineup, and given that Lauren Parfit's been in very much scoring freely in the 50 over competition, Daisy Jeans has got 100 as well against Kent. There's a danger of them posting a really big score here, but you've got to have some faith in your own bowlers, and Liv Daniels has decided she wants to chase. Good day to chase, she said at the toss. So
yeah, Glamorgan have had some decent results recently, but over tier 3 sides generally. So, obviously a tier 2 side are going to be a lot stronger. So, yeah, let's see what happens. But Alice Bird has the ball in her hand from the Ashley Down Road end of the ground. Yeah, going back to Paolo and Anna's ice cream van, it's not the same without Benny the Labrador waiting patiently, begging outside. Here's Alice Bird bowling to Daisy Jeans. Big in-swinger straight away, booming drive. But only to mid-off, thanks to Bird getting a hand on it. I think she might have saved 4 runs there, because that was absolutely nailed, wasn't it?
Yeah, interesting that the 2 players outside the circle at the moment are at deep backward square and at long leg. Other than that, 5 inside the circle on the offside, an extra cover and a mid-off.
Bird, that's down the leg side, and Georgina Stark keeping wicket, can only parry that down to Charlie Phillips down at fine leg.
It's going to be quite
and two wides. Oh, leg buys, sorry, 2 leg buys.
Well, we saw the Gloucestershire women play at the Cheltenham Festival last year, and I think that in some ways a smaller ground may help them. This feels like a big playing area for the Gloucestershire women today. You could see quite a lot of 3s run because the pitch is so central.
Bird in, that's a big shout for LBW. That's got to be close, but umpire Widges Saria keeps his finger in his pocket.
Alice Bird just asking about that.
Yeah,
politely.
Polite inquiry. But she does move the ball, Alice Bird. Here she comes. That's heaved a little bit, but she's going to get 4 runs through wide mid-on. And Prathana Reddy can't cut that one off despite the dive. And it runs away up to the Jack Russell stand for 4.
What's immediately noticeable is that in order to get that swing, Alice Bird is not going to bowl short. She's going to bowl very full, and therefore the risk is that she will be driven, hence why you've got a mid-on and a mid-off.
Yeah, it's through the air, isn't it, as opposed to off the pitch with Alice Bird generally. Here she comes. That's just back of a length. That's probably a better length, seeing as Daisy Jeans looks like she's a strong driver of the ball. She got a couple of hundreds, hasn't she, Daisy Jeans? I think she came from Somerset originally.
Yeah, born Taunton.
Here's Bird, who's also from Somerset, and that's well fielded by Prathana Reddy.
I dare I say an obvious slower ball, but still, you've still got to pick it, haven't you? Even if you spot it early. And Daisy Jean's only finding the fielder. So interesting to see who Liv Daniels uses from this Bristol Pavilion. And looks like Charlie Phillips is going to open the bowling.
Apologies for swearing before the watershed on air, Ian. I don't like to use the word Somerset, but there you go.
Yeah, Charlie's taken more. She's taken more wickets than anybody in the 50 over format this year. 6 wickets at 27. But here in the shorter form, she's going to have Georgina Start standing up behind the stumps. Of course, you have 2 very able keepers in the team, but Meg Ahern being used in the outfield today. So around the wicket from Charlie Phillips, that's driven straight down the ground. There's a fielder running around, good covering from Amelie Monday. They've only taken 1. And as regular watchers will know, here at Bristol, the straight boundaries are shorter. So the fact they've got a long on out.
Yeah, it's good captaincy from Liv Daniels as well.
Long on at a deep mid wicket. Jeans waits and has to go back into the crease. Good stop.
She looks a lovely player, Daisy Jeans, doesn't she? She's really crisp timing already.
And the fact that you've got Lauren Parfitt, who's very much in form at the other end, just these 2 could get away to a good start. That will be 4. That's pulled behind square. There's no fielder out at deep square. The mid wicket is far straighter than that. And with Phillips bowling around the wicket, even to the right-hander, that gave Daisy Jeans enough room to pull that down in between the gap between the mound stand, which will be the David Graveney stand, of course, or the Graveney stand next year, and the Marker Lane stand.
I'm not sure about going around the wicket this early. I think it's I'd like to see her go over the wicket and actually, try and bring LBW into the equation, because it's very hard to get an LBW.
Only 3 saving 1 on the leg side. That's what she's trying to do. So it's just run it across the right-hander.
With the odd one turning back, gripping and turning back.
Charlie Phillips from the Bristol Pavilion end. Oh, and that's an inadvertent scoop. She's going to get a single for it. Maybe just a little bit extra bounce there, actually. And obviously, the bowling with the new hard ball. And just picks up 1. 12 for no wicket, Glamorgan. Being then put in. And again, that's a better length. Just a little bit shorter. And the end of Charlie Phillips' first over. So Glamorgan 12 for no wicket off 2, having been put in.
Yeah, it got better as the over went on there, didn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit of maybe match nervousness.
Yeah, just getting into a rhythm as well.
And just if you're not aware, you know, these girls are effectively amateur. They're not paid. Gloucestershire look after them in sense of travel and kit and such like, but effectively they are amateur players.
Bird in, and that's driven nicely there by Daisy Jinks. Moves into double figures with that off drive. Runs away to the marker lane stand, and that's 4 runs. I wonder if you might need some cover there, having looked at the way she drives the ball. Maybe get rid of the fielder at deep backward square, bring her into the ring, and push you mid-off or mid-on back.
You're just conscious about the big in swing, and that's why the fielder's there.
As I said, typical. Yeah, it's nothing worse than a ball following captain, is there?
Reacting after the horses bolted. That was Melissa's story out there on the boundary.
Yeah, well, Melissa got a busy life, hasn't she? Not only a fine commentator, but she's also a lawyer. Here's Parfit facing Bird, and that's shovelled round the corner to Story. Yeah, as you said, they are amateur, and therefore you do get people dropping out due to having to work or having exams, or, you know, it's not like, say, you know, tier 1 being professionals.
No, and I think there is a lot of chat around the system.
That's a wide. Quite harsh to me, actually, but there you go. I believe Glamorgan are going tier 1 next year.
They want to. They want to, and that, I think, is perhaps why their side is closer to a tier 1 side than the Gloucestershire side is. Their ambition very much is stabilising at tier 1.
Bird in, and that's going to be a leg by possibly, or was there a bit of bat involved there? No, there's a little bit of bat involved, so it's another run onto the total. 20 without loss now. There's a lot of links between Glamorgan and Cardiff University and Cardiff Met, who are a very strong sporting outfit, aren't they? And I believe that quite a few of the, like Gloucestershire women, Katie Dolman's at Cardiff, I believe, isn't she? And some of the men as well. Tommy Borman and Joe Phillips, I believe, are at Cardiff.
And Emily Geach is trading in the Glamorgan Academy. So, you know, there is geography is such a thing when it comes back to the point about being amateur. You don't want to be trekking halfway across the country, do you?
No. Here's Alice Bird. That's into the body of Parfit, who can't get that one away.
There is a bit of, it's more than drift, isn't it? There is a bit of quite early swing for her.
Yeah, she's got a good wrist action, and she's sort of quite chest on, which aids in swing, doesn't it?
There's the slower one.
That's sort of wide, and it's going to be it's going to be 2 wides actually. So it'll be expensive.
I'm sure Georgina Start knows exactly where to stand, but with that slower delivery, you almost feel as if she could be standing up, in fact. But
yeah,
at normal pace, I get the fact that she's more comfortable standing back.
Bird, that's down the leg side. That's going to be 5 wides, possibly. Yes, it will be. So this is going to be an expensive over. 27 on the board after 2.5. It's exactly the start that you feared, Ian, after Liv Daniels won the toss and elected to field.
Yeah, and I did wonder just last night, just looking at the squads after they were announced, and thinking about how Fran Wilson tries to sort of tighten up the performance of the Gloucestershire team. I'll come back to that perhaps at the end of the over.
Bird looking to get out of the over. And that's thumped into the thigh pad of Jeans. That will complete the over. 27 without loss.
Yeah, so in one of the 50 over games, the game at Leicestershire, Gloucestershire got 230 batting first, and ultimately were beaten. But there was a high number of wides in that Leicestershire chase. And I thought, actually, is actually cutting down the number of extras an easy fix for a coach? And I actually thought it should be reasonably easy to fix that. So let's see today if they can. I mean, that was it was exceptionally high in that game. So let's see tonight if they can get that number of wides down. Charlie Phillips bowling her second over, and Jeans trots through for a single as Parfitt just strokes that down to.
It's about disciplines.
Long on.
It's about disciplines, isn't it? It's a fine line in T20 as well between. I'll come on to it after this ball.
Phillips staying around the wicket, and Jeans pulls once more. Again, the mid wicket is reasonably straight. Prathana ready, and that's gone very square in front of the main scoreboard. Sprinkling of supporters in that man stand, and that's the stand that Jeans has now peppered twice.
It's a fine line between not wanting to give a batter too much width and get their levers going, but also not chucking it down the leg side as well.
That's a better ball from Phillips, just a little bit shorter. And Jeans going back and unable to pierce the cover on the offside. Liv Daniels doing the fielding. She walks in now, and that's gone straighter. Oh, it's dropped. Difficult chance at mid-off. Emily Geach stretched out one right hand.
Great effort.
Couldn't cling on to it. It would have been a stunning catch if she had have done so. And Phillips in to Parfitt, and that's gone through Becca Halliday, but there is cover. Reddy will come in and they'll just pick up the single.
Yeah, a few mistakes just creeping into Gloucestershire. Scrappy throws, scrappy fielding. Been a few wides. They want to tighten this up. Fran Wilson will want this tightened up.
Phillips, it's more of a round arm, but that's cut in the gap. There's 4 fielders on the offside, but it's pierced all 4 of them, and it's run away through extra cover for 4. And Glamorgan more than ticking along here. They're
38, isn't it?
Setting a good pace in this power play, which has still got 2 overs to go, of course. 38 for no wicket off 4.
Yeah, I really like the look of Daisy Jeans. I think she looks a proper player. Authentic cricket shots. She's not slogging, just playing authentic cricket shots, and I really like the look of her. I think she's got something about her.
Emily Geach to come on from the Ashley Down Road end.
And a change of bowling from the Ashdown Road end, sponsored by Gloucestershire Exiles, number 9, Emily Geach.
Sponsored by the Gloucestershire Exiles, nay.
Whoa.
She was at the pre-season media day.
Here she comes. With that's again gone through Melissa Story. That's going to be 4 runs.
That might have bounced on a wicket end there,
yeah.
But the 3 pitches they've used for other matches this season now in this heat look very dry, particularly at at the two wicket ends, and it may just have caught a bounce on that, but that was firmly struck. And both these two starting to find the middle of the bat now.
Yeah, certainly are. It's looking ominous for Gloucestershire here. They could do with a wicket. There's Stark standing up, just spills that one. There was no edge though.
So interesting that she's standing up to Emily Geach, presumably, because she's got a crack on the head. She's got a crack on the head.
Yeah, so concussion protocols.
I'll say she's standing up because Emily Geach has an action that suggests the ball won't swing as much.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. And she's also reasonably accurate as well. She bowls line and length, doesn't she, and works on the basis of you miss, I hit. Crowd here building up. A few people just enjoying the Bristol sunshine. Let's hope they've got some sunscreen on because it's getting hotter and hotter, isn't it? I think it's about 27 when I arrived. Geach. It's just turned into the body. Stories across quickly and cuts off the single. Good fielding there. From the legal Lara, Melissa Story. Geach full, and that's heaved, but can only pick out Daniels at mid-wicket. Right, they bring the third up into the ring, so that's Alice Hill coming up into the ring, and Story has now dropped out to deep square again. As she feels the ball straight away, and one more onto the total, 43 without loss. I did a little preview with, there's a Glamorgan website run by a gentleman I know called Blake Bint, who's also been on the Gloucestershire commentary at times, hasn't he, over the last few years. That's going to be a wide. He stood in as sub, hasn't he? He's a bit like, sort of, he's a super sub, like David Fairclough without the ginger hair. But yeah, he's got a website called Taff and Daff. And we previewed this one, and then the men meet in Cardiff tomorrow night, don't they? Oh, that's Will Bowl. Slightly slower ball there.
Might just have gone away a little bit off the pitch, that one. James Healy looking as after us on cameras today. And a tighter over, only 6 from it. But 44 for no wicket, still with an over to go in the power play. Is a good start when you've been put into bat. Alice Bird's first 2 overs cost 19. Charlie Phillips's 2 overs cost 17. But Emily Geach with a little bit of a break on things, and arguably the captain is Gloucestershire's best bowler, and here she is, Liv Daniels, again coming on from the Bristol Pavilion end. Last over of the power play, again with a spin from right arm around the wicket, and again
it's a drop catch.
It's a tough drop catch, one-handed to her wrong hand, but a chance put down, and Lauren Parfitt using her feet to pick up a single into the leg side.
Yeah, there's plenty of Glamorgan Gloucestershire connections. Obviously, Richard Dawson doing a fine job as head coach with the men, isn't he? They've gone to 3rd.
3 on the leg side, saving 1. And that's just about on a 6pence from Liv Daniels, forcing Daisy Jeans to go back into her crease, not giving her any room. And Becca Halliday doing the fielding. That's chipped in the air, just over Emily Geach's head at mid-off. She's right on the edge of the square. And they're going to come back for 2. but chances being created by Liv Daniels in this over, more than in any of the other 5.
Yep, certainly are. But Gloucestershire need to start taking these chances.
Daniels again to Jeans, who plays that same shot that's been so profitable for her. That's the 3rd boundary away to deep square on the leg side. And Glamorgan.
That's the 50 up.
Yeah, just getting past the half century within the power play.
Just ahead at the end of the power play. Glamorgan 51 without us.
Jeans has 30 of the 51. Definitely playing the main hand here, and that will be 4 more. I think there's a long chase round for Emily Mundy. Can she cut it off? Oh, she might have done, and it's gone through her and over the rope. So Liv Daniels over, costing 11, and Glamorgan have started at a fairly even pace through this power play. They've capitalised on anything loose, and Jeans in particular has been ruthless, you would say.
Indeed, yep. But as I was saying, there are links between Gloucestershire and Glamorgan. B. Ellis is in the Glamorgan side, who was with Gloucestershire last year, wasn't she? And as I said, Richard Dawson, the men's head coach, who's led them to 3rd in the county championship, which is unbelievable. They went up last year, didn't they?
They did,
and I believe
a great job.
I believe Chris Dent's acting as a batting consultant for them as well.
Geets to continue.
Yeah, here she comes. So that's into the body, and Parfitt can't get that one away. Jeans is 34 of 23 balls. Parfitt slightly more conservative, 10 off 14.
Yeah, she's not had a lot of the strikes, to be fair.
No. Oh, that's the Surrey Cup. It's going to be a couple, I think, as Charlie Phillips is in pursuit. Nothing wrong with that shot. I've got a lot of runs down there in my career.
Emily Geeks has now not got an awful. She's pushed the mid on back to long on for Parfitt.
Yeah, that was pulled vigorously actually, but could only pick out Liv Daniels at mid wicket, which I reckon she's hit that so well that could have even been 4 runs.
So 2 out on the leg side now, but they're at deep backward square and at deep mid wicket, and they've now got a short fine leg.
Geach just pulling out that. That's going to be a dead ball. Yeah, Glamorgan, well, they tend to play in Cardiff a lot now, but they've used Colwyn Bay, haven't they, in the past, and Neath, the Knoll, Abergavenny. They don't play at St Helens, Swansea anymore, though, which is a shame. That's smashed down the ground, and that's going to be 4 runs. That's a serious shot there from Parfitt.
Yeah, purely on her numbers, you'd expect Lauren Parfitt to be pretty dangerous in this format. So in the match earlier this season, she got 56 in Glamorgan's chase. She then got 73 against Leicestershire and 71 against Derbyshire away. Now that's in 50 over cricket, but if you bat that long and get that many, then that says in this format, you've got a bit of flexibility as to how you play, depending on how quickly the score is ticking up at the other end.
It's pushed into the covers, no run. That's a dot ball.
Just looking at who else might bowl in that Gloucestershire lineup. We haven't seen Alice Hill yet.
What's the story about off breaks?
She does.
Yeah.
Well, no, she's a bit quicker than off breaks.
That's again down the ground. It's going to be 1 this time, though.
Safest place if you play a sand wedge like that, because the mid-on is back at long-on, so there's a massive gap. Very safe space to clip a single. And at the moment, Doran Parfitt and Daisy Jeans are breezing along, and Glamorgan have 62 on the board off 7 overs.
You sound like you've been in a few bunkers in your time there, Ian.
With, oh, no, not a golfer, Dan. I would have chipped a catch to a few mid-ons in my time. Probably first ball, most of it. So Daniels is going to continue. And for Parfitt, nobody behind square on the offside. So backward point has got a lot of work to do if Parfitt goes cutting, but she goes sweeping, and it's partially gone through Charlie Phillips, but there is cover again. Prothon already coming round, and they'll take 2. It just shows that the square boundaries are really big on this ground at Bristol.
Yeah, Gloucestershire need to stem the tide here.
Daniels around the wicket. Parfitt tries to sort of a paddle sweep. There is an appeal, but nothing doing from umpire Hamal.
Wickets.
Thank you, Dan. I would have got there in the end.
My Sri Lankan's fluent, you know. Sinhalese.
Bit of a skip from Daniels as she comes in. Good use of the feet. That's gone over the top of Emily Geach. It'll bounce once, twice, and bobble over the rope for 4. And they're picking their spaces to score here really well, Glamorgan. I think they're aware that the straight boundaries are shorter, and if there's no risk of an LBW with Daniels bowling round the wicket, they can do this paddle sweep or the pull safely. Here's again with long on out, and that's a clever dab, which will just pick up a single.
Yeah, that LBW early in the over. As an off-spinner bowling around the wicket, you've got to be pitching it middle and turning it, straightening it up. That's the only way, really, you're going to get an LBW as an off-spinner bowling around the wicket. You're taking it out of the equation, more or less.
69 for no wicket. Daniels in. That's almost a half volley, but use of the feet by Daisy Jeans, and she couldn't get it away. It was right off the bottom of the bat. Daniels again. That's the same shot, and it's gone past Emily Geach, and once more it's away to the boundary at long off. She's crossed it, it's got past her, but in reality she didn't dive over it. She couldn't reach it. And Liv Daniels is getting a bit of the same treatment as the others at the moment. She has now bowled 2 overs for 22, and I wonder what Glamorgan's sort of benchmark might be here. They might be looking at something around about 180.
Yeah,
the way they're going.
I'm not sure I'd fancy having a bowl at Daisy Jeans. She can drive for fun, can't she?
Emily Geach is to continue.
Yeah, here's Geach from the Ashdown Road end, and that's into the thigh pad. This is good from Geach. She's bowling into the body, not allowing Parfitt or Jeans to get their levers going, giving them room, tucking them up for room.
11 fours so far off the bat.
Short and pulled out to deep square where Story does the fielding. How many wides so far?
9. Well, 9 runs from wides, but one of them was a ban.
5. Was 5 wides, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 9 wides after 8.2 overs is quite excessive, I would suggest. That's in the air and gone. Jeans departs for 38, and that's Alice Hill with the catch.
It is safely underneath it. 1 or 2 of the other chances have been more difficult than that one. Would have been an awkward spinning ball, but still Jeans has kind of done her job, because she has got Glamorgan off to a really good start here, and Daisy Mullen comes in for them at number 3. So there might be a little bit of adjustment, but when you've got Parfit fairly well set, going at a runner ball at the other end, she can afford to have a little look, can't she, before she starts thinking about getting on the attack.
Yeah, one Daisy replaces another.
There are so many on my back lawn at the moment. I need to cut them tomorrow.
As long as they're not in your cricket outfield, Ian, that's all right.
But
never mind your back lawn. It's more about your cricket outfield.
But I think Emily Geach has deserved that, because she's bowled more economically than the rest.
Yeah. It's when the dandelions start appearing, you know you're in real trouble. It's Daisy Mullen. Geach. Mullen drives through cover point. Gets off the mark, first ball.
It is quite a, how would I describe it? It's quite a floaty delivery, isn't it, from Emily Geach? It's faster than a spinner, but it's not an Alice Bird pace.
No.
So she's trying to concentrate on bowling, you know, just a line and length, really, more than anything else.
Yeah. And I think also, you know, take the pace off the ball as well and make the batter hit the delivery, as opposed to just being able to nurdle it and use the pace of the ball.
Now we're through the power play. She's got 4 out, 2 on the leg side, 1 on the off and 1 straight at long on.
Geach to Mullen, who again works the single into the covers and gets down the other end. Ending over 77 for 1.
So first success for Gloucestershire in Emily Geach's over. But we're going to get to halfway with a really good base here.
Yeah, it's also the tightest over as well. The innings so far with just 4 runs coming off it. 6 was the previous, which was in the first and in the 5th.
So a bit of a brains trust conversation, and she's going back to spin from this Bristol Pavilion end for the first time today. We're going to see Alice Hill.
By the waiting game, 92, Alice Hill.
I wonder if this is, I mean, this looks like a strategy that Fran Wilson has looked at with these off spinners, to try and tuck the batsman by bowling round the wicket. Now, because this is the 3rd time we're going to see an off spinner bowling around the wicket to the right hander, and here Daisy Mullen squeezes that away into the leg side. Reddy and Ahern are patrolling the boundary out there, and they'll just pick up a single. If you've joined us since the start, Glamorgan were put in when Gloucestershire won the toss, and they've scored pretty freely right from the outset. And now it's a question of whether Lauren Parfit, who's been in since the start, has picked up another single there. They can really press the pedal, having lost Daisy Jeans, caught by Alice Hill off Emily Geach for 38. Here is Hill, who took the catch, and he'll just get another single. This time Mullen now at her 3rd county, nudging that just behind square. She's had previous time at Hampshire and at Lancashire. Hill in, and there's an attempted reverse sweep by Parfit. She got much on that. There's a chase for Emily Monday down towards the boundary, and the ball's just beaten her, and it's not off the bat but off the pad. So 4 leg byes. It didn't look the most gracious shot, I must be honest.
No, I've missed you, Ian. You know that over the winter. It's good to be back working with you. You know, it felt a little bit like, you know, when Nelson lost his arm, a little bit like that.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad cricketer with 1 arm, I don't think. Still 4 saving 1 on the offside. Hill, it's really floated up and waited for by Lauren Parfitt. She wants two, and she'll get two out to Emily Mundy, who runs round from long on to field.
Yeah, good placement there. Got it in between the two fielders.
And that's been the most striking thing, isn't it, so far?
Yeah.
Has been, they've not hit the ball really, really hard, but they've just placed the shots really well. And they, with all the slower bowlers coming from behind, coming from round the wicket.
Yeah, with no one saving the single on the leg side.
Halfway through
There is that sort of consistency of attack, and they've got set. Single off the last ball of the over. Glamorgan at halfway, really well placed. 87 for one, 10 off that over, and I did say 180 might be where they would want to get to. That might be a bit ambitious, but they wouldn't be thinking far short of that, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit less, 160, 170, but this is Melissa Story coming into the attack.
It's a change from the Ashley Down Road end.
Is it Melissa Story?
I know it's Charlie Phillips, I think.
Oh, Charlie Phillips. That's use of the feet and played out to long on. Lovely day here in Bristol. The gods have smiled on us, haven't they, Ian?
First time this summer.
That's swept. And that is Story doing the fielding and keeps it down to a single. First time in my life, I think, here.
Change of bowling from the Ashdown Road end. Returning is number 52, Charlie Phillips.
Very much a day for fielding in a hat, or in caps in almost all the Gloucestershire women's team's cases.
That's smashed through wide long on for 4 runs. Good footwork from Parfitt, and gets to the pitch of the ball, picks the gap.
She's been quite content to play almost like certainly second fiddle to Jeans, if not quite anchor in this first half of the innings. Now with a new batter at the other end, she's got a chance to open up a bit.
And there shows the deft touch as well. Late cut. As Emily Geach does the fielding, and 2 more onto the total. Glamorgan just shy of 3 figures now in the 11th.
So 5 bowlers used so far by Gloucestershire. Melissa Story could well bowl as well, so that would be 6, which means that we wouldn't have to use the full allocation from all of them.
That's again use the feet by Parfitt, and that's going to be 4 runs. That's a misfield down at long on by Prathana Reddy. She'll be disappointed with that one.
Yes, it's that thing about.
I think you'd be disappointed with that one, Ian.
Yeah, it's if you're thinking of getting the ball in quickly, the first thing you have to do is stop it. However, in a sense, untidy or ungainly it might be, stop it first, and then think about what happens next.
Oh, that's well bowled, flighted, and I think she saw Parfitt coming there and pushed it wide of off stump. 99 for 1 after 11. Yeah, I've lost count of the amount of balls that have hit my knee over the years, but you just get something behind it, don't you?
Yeah, and you'll have seen many a club player on a Saturday afternoon try and put a big boot alongside the ball on the boundary to stop it first, and then run back and pick it up. Particularly those of our friends who play club cricket, to whom flexibility might not be their greatest asset.
You talking about me?
I couldn't possibly say.
He's asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend, yeah. So Glamorgan with Alice Hill continuing And a reverse sweep into the gap. That's clever placement. They're chasing him from Melissa Story and Becca Halliday, and the ball is going to beat both of them down towards the boundary at what would have been deep point, but it was played as if it was going to deep backward square. And Parfitt's the only person we've seen use that reverse, but it's looking now as if it can be a profitable shot for her.
I think that was Mullen, wasn't it? That one? I think that
It was Mullen,
yeah.
actually.
But that's the 100 up as well. But they look a good side, Glamorgan, I think.
Floated well into the air. There's that point Dan was making about not having somebody in on the one on the leg side. So as a result, Prathana Reddy's got to come all the way in from the rope. Yes, it cuts off the boundary, but there's a single, and there's probably two if you play it at the right weight of shot into that leg side. Another sweep, and is that just short? Melissa Story's come forward.
It's a great effort.
It's Alice Bird, actually, not Melissa Story.
It's a fantastic effort from Alice Bird.
She's just short, and she knew it wasn't a true catch either when she went down. Hill will try again. It's floated right up. And Parfitt says, I'll just take the single up to Amelie Monday at long on.
She's good to interview, Alice Bird. We interviewed her on our podcast, Being Glorious, a few weeks back with Caitlin Belcher. She's doing a media studies degree at Loughborough.
Around the wicket. Oh, that's almost a full toss, and it's been played off the bottom edge of a reverse sweep. That was a very ugly shot. And Mullen probably knows that. She's probably having a chuckle to herself as she standing out the long striker's end, having got one for it. But they're both trying to profit from the fact that Gloucestershire have got four in on the single on the offside. That's aerial though. Swung out into the deep. Oh, and Prathana Reddy's misjudged the flight of that, and it's gone for four. She's come in too far. She's come in thinking she's going to take the catch, and it's gone away over her right shoulder. And a boundary off the last ball rather, of Hill's over. Here it is again on the replay. Here's Reddy coming in, and suddenly it's gone over her right shoulder and bounced away for another boundary. So Glamorgan 110 for one off 12, and Hill has bowled 2 overs for 17.
Yeah, Prathana, or they call her P Ready, don't they? She'll be disappointed with that. I think if she'd stayed where she was, it might have been straight down her throat. Alice Bird, I think, is coming back into the attack. Liv Daniels chopping and changing her bowlers, just looking for a breakthrough, looking to stem the tide.
Yeah, Bird 2 overs for 19, Charlie Phillips 3 overs for 29, Geach 3 overs 1 for 17, Daniels 2 overs for 22, Hill 2 overs for 17. It's been fairly steady for Glamorgan in terms of their scoring rate.
Here is Bird. That's a clever shot. Daisy Mullen. Really good cricket there. Walking across her stumps, just tickling it down the leg side and picking the gap. Charlie Phillips unable to cut that one off as she's in the ring.
And it's 50 for Lauren Parfitt.
Oh, it's Lauren Parfitt.
39 balls and 7 fours.
Yeah, Mullen's slightly smaller, isn't she? But really good cricket. Has Alice got a comeback? No, it's another one, this time on the offside. She's toying with the Gloucestershire bowling like a cat with a mouse. Teasing them.
But you have to say, Dan, on the basis of previous meetings between these two teams, Glamorgan's extra strength is showing here in the batting.
Yeah, certainly is. And I think they're in danger of batting Gloucestershire out of this one. I think anything over 150, 160 will be a real tough ask to chase. But you never know. Here's Bird. And that's Squeezed into mid-off. Bit of a mix-up here in the running. Oh, she was a bit lackadaisical there. Parfitt, and a shy at the stumps from Alice Hill. I think that might have been tight if that had hit, you know. I think she wasn't really watching. I don't think there was communication from Daisy Mullen saying your end.
Often happens in South Adelaide second 11. South Adelaide, is that what I mean? South Adelaide, is that your club?
Southgate Adelaide.
Southgate Adelaide, nearly right.
Yeah.
It might happen in South Adelaide as well, to be fair.
It's more of a yes, no, wait, sorry.
Yeah,
That one's just pushed out into the offside for a dot ball.
that's the sequence, isn't it? And those of you with strong Gloucestershire connections will know of Chris Coley, who does so much good work at Cheltenham. He had a racing syndicate called the Yes, No, Wait, Sorries.
Oh, Boulder! Mullen goes, loses the leg stump, and Alice Bird strikes. Gloucestershire needed that.
Yeah, Mullen goes for 11. And for Liv Daniels, a vindication of the bowling change. A lovely sight for the Gloucestershire team with just the two stumps standing. And here is the replay of Bird's wicket. She played right round it.
Yeah, a little bit of in-swing.
Yeah, that's what she's looking for. That length and swing. It's kind of the perfect delivery when you've got somebody looking to get on with it. And there's no question now that Glamorgan will continue to do that at 119 for 2. And this is Cheltenham-born B. Ellis coming in at number 4.
Yeah, going back to
She's born in Cheltenham. How she slipped through the net and got onto Glamorgan?
Well, she was at Gloucestershire last year, wasn't she?
That's right.
But going back to talking of Cheltenham, Chris Coley and the Yes, No, Wait, Sorries, I believe Martin Stovall was something to do with that as well back in the day, wasn't he?
Yeah. Martin, obviously R.I.P. Of course.
Here's Bird. Bustling in. That's a big appeal. Looks a little bit high from here. And the ball dribbles out to the offside, but a dot ball, and that's... Take the first 2 balls out of that, and that's a good over from Alice Bird. A wicket and just 1 run, apart from the 2 boundaries and the first couple of balls.
I think it was felt that B. Ellis earned her chance to go to Glamorgan. I know you might say, well, you're playing at the same tier, but I mean, come back to the point you made earlier that they are a lot closer to tier 1 than the Gloucestershire group are.
Yeah, and they're also, which is the way cricket is going at the moment, 100 hosting county. And you're in the shop window.
Here's Daniels back into the attack. The skipper bringing herself back on from the Bristol Pavilion end. Good bit of fielding by Alice Hill.
That's where players are wanting to go to now because they're in the shop window, and I think it's imperative that Gloucestershire do get a 100 deal when it gets expanded.
Daniels in, and that's gone straight down the ground from Lauren Parfitt.
I'm not a massive fan.
So just get 1.
I'm not a massive fan of the competition. As you know, we do the Metro Bank during that, and I love watching the young players come through, but you can't blame the players for wanting to maximise their salaries, and the better players will end up going to 100 hosting counties.
Daniels around the wicket to B. Ellis. There's a B. Ellis and a Bethan Ellis in the Glamorgan squad. Bethan's not playing today. So still 4 on the single on the offside. On the leg side, there's only a short fine leg. Otherwise, all the other leg side fielders are out, and that short fine leg is Melissa Story, and she's coming in just to get them to pick up a single.
Good Welsh name, isn't it, Bethan? A bit like Myfanwy.
Emily Geach away on the boundary down here at long off. Emily Monday up long on. Parfitt Goes for a paddle sweep, doesn't get, I don't think, any bat on that. It dribbles out behind square on the leg side. Oh, there was just a feather on it, and she will get one more rather than it being a leg by. To come back to that point Dan was making, or we were talking about wides earlier, still now at this point just 9 runs from wide, so that's a lot better. Daniels around the wicket and going back into a crease goes B. Ellis. She'll get 2 because there's ground to be made up, and they've run back well. The wickets in
Good
this
throw from Prathana Reddy, by the way. She'll feel better about that.
the wickets in this Glamorgan innings falling at 74 and 119, so they've had a good base, and Parfitt is still there, and 57 not out with 6 overs to go. She's dare I draw a comparison with one Michael Klinger, but that's the job she's doing. That's the job that Michael did so well for Gloucestershire in the best of their one-day times with Klinger on the staff.
Yeah. I was reminded earlier in the week about possibly one of the finest pre-match speeches by any captain, and it came from Phil Bennett, the Welsh skipper, before playing England. As that's heaved out to deep mid-wicket for a single.
This is Alice Bird's last over.
Yeah. And it was along the lines of, they've closed our coal mines, they've shut down our steel industry. And it got the boys slightly hyped up.
Lauren Parfitt, as you can see, 57, 58 now off 44.
The great Phil Bennett. That's tucked into the pads, and she's got that in the gap, but it's going to be 2 as it's cut off by Charlie Phillips. Yeah, they didn't have some bad fly halves for a while. Barry John, Phil Bennett. Reasonable.
Yeah, oh yes. Yeah, the 9s weren't bad either. A chap called Edwards, I believe.
Well, even Terry Holmes after him was like a decent player as well. Here's Alice Bird. That's down the ground. That could well be 4 runs. It is. Prathana Reddy can't cut that one off. And
the variations from Alice Bird are being picked by, particularly now, by Lauren Parfitt. Now that she's very well set, she's been in since the start. You know, the full pace ball from Alice Bird, the slower ball, she's picking both of them.
$131 for 2 in the Bristol sunshine. Short and pulled by Ellis, who now moves into double figures. The daffodil in full bloom here in Bristol.
Given they got to the finals day last year, Glamorgan will see that as a bar to be reached again.
Is that down the leg side? No, it's gone over leg stump, according to umpire Surya.
I think Lauren Parfitt was where she missed out there.
I think so.
Stepped right across to try and club it away, and then was, for once, deceived by the pace.
But Alice Bird's got no cover out on the offside boundary and 4 on the leg side. So she's angling it into the pads, but that doesn't matter. So Lauren Parfitt, who drills this one through mid-wicket, picks up 4 runs, and that is the end of Alice Bird.
1 for 40 from her 4 overs.
Yeah.
With the ICC Women's T20
And
Cricket World Cup just under
the most
4 weeks
striking
away,
thing
6 matches
has been the placement from these Glamorgan batters.
Yeah,
they've worked out. I mean, Tom Smith was always, in his time as a player, always somebody who could, you know, assess where the pockets or the gaps were in a playing area very quickly. And Glamorgan have assessed that quickly and profited from it. Gloucestershire have got 5 overs to try and keep the lid on things here. This is Alice Hill back into the attack from the Bristol Pavilion end.
I'm wondering if your 180 looks a tad conservative, Ian.
Well, depends what particularly Parfitt can do, you'd think. If she is against sweeping, or that's a bit more of a hoik, truthfully, out to deep square. There is a fielder on the boundary. Mega Hearn's out there. And
she's a good cricketer, Meg. I think she's 16, 17 years old.
She is 17 still.
Yeah.
More work for her here. So she's in the outfield today, but can keep wicket. One more.
She couldn't even buy her teammates a legal pint after 100 the other week, could she?
So Melissa Story hasn't bowled, and maybe won't today, judging by how the bowlers have been used so far. That's down the leg side. Oh, it is given as a wide eventually. I couldn't see any reason why it wouldn't have been, because it was probably 2 sets of stumps down the leg side to Lauren Parfitt from Alice Hill. But she'll try again, staying around the wicket. The arm is quite round. That's in the air towards Emily Geach. Oh, and again, almost gets to it and spills it out. It goes for, she's just asking whether it goes over the rope on the 4. I think it's 4.
I think it's like dropped into the ground and then went over the boundary.
There's one of the new drains right by the rope there, which didn't make her getting her footing any easier. But it's gone for 4. Parfitt to 67. That's tossed right up by Alice Hill, right above the eye line, so she's had to work round to get that. There might be 2 in this. Emily Mundy's coming round to help Prathana Reddy out, and they scamper back for a couple. This is Hill's 3rd over, so in theory, Hill, Daniels, Geach and Phillips will have an over each in the last 4. Over the infield, Melissa Story's on the turn here. That ball's going to race away. The outfield's quickened up with this weather over the last couple of days, and that's run away for 4 more, and an expensive over for Alice Hill. 3 overs for 31, and Glamorgan, there's the graph of their run rate. They've kept it very consistent since the power play. Brisk start, and it really hasn't dropped at any point.
Looks like your heart monitor when you're excited, Ian.
Yeah. And there's the other trajectory, which shows the what's known as the worm on your screen. So 4 overs to go, 150 up.
We got a Manhattan as well. We'll show you the Manhattan at the end of the over.
4 overs to go.
Oh, stumping. That's the end of Ellis. And Charlie Phillips strikes.
Yeah, that will help things a little bit. But it's Parfitt they really wanted to get rid of. She's still at the other end, but an easy stumping for Georgina Start. And Ellis just realising that there's no I in team, and she was just trying to get on with things. Which brings Beth Gammon out at number 5.
I've lost an over somewhere. What was the score at the end of the 15th?
150. Oh, that's a good question, because I wrote 150 for 2 down as well, but of course that's after 16.
Yeah.
That may have passed us by.
Glamorgan is number 35, Bethan Gammon.
It's all right. We're easing our way back into it, aren't we, Ian? We're getting back into it. Beth Gammon, the new batter.
She bowls some leg breaks as well. I don't know whether we'll see those later on.
Well, it's a good tool to have in T20 cricket. Phillips, Gammon tries to myrtle this one, but Phillips round quickly, cuts off the single.
Again, she got runs in the 50 over game when these two sides played each other earlier in the season. She got 49 not out. So
cuts out to deep cover for a single, gets off the strike. That's her job. Take the one, get down the other end, give Parfitt the strike. 73 or 51 Parfitt. Phillips, Parfitt, that's up in the air. That could well be out. No, it drops just short of Prathana Reddy. And just a single, but clever bowling from Charlie Phillips.
So this is her last over.
Just turned into the onside and
even from just a handful of deliveries, Beth Gammon looks to be, dare I say, a natural batter. She's picked the length and the pace of 2 deliveries, and she's hardly been in for more than a handful.
Smash. Parfitt, batting like Peter Parfitt. You remember him, don't you?
I remember his name.
He's a good player, Middlesex. There was a gentleman around my area of North London who would embellish his sporting achievements. And this was the source of much fun to us, so we asked him, what about cricket? And he said, oh, I played for Surrey. He said, Peter Parfitt couldn't score a run off me.
So 3 overs to go. So Charlie Phillips has finished 4 overs, 1 for 36. And this is Alice Hill's last over. Swept away to Meg Ahern on the deep mid-wicket boundary in front of the scoreboard. And 1 run to Beth Gammon. Brings Lauren Parfitt back onto strike. Open the innings, 79 she's got. I'd make that at least 80. She's gone down the ground to wide, long off, and she'll have 1 on the throw to Emily Geach from there. Not because Geach's arm isn't as good as anybody else's, but it is a long boundary to that part of the ground. And Geach is right on the rope. Hill loops that up, and that's pulled away to mid-wicket for 4. That's gone right between the 2 fielders, one at a straightish mid-wicket and one at a deep square. And she's picked the gap again.
Yeah, do you know what? I think later on, going between Gloucestershire men and Warwickshire, I think it could be very high scoring here.
Hill would have gone down the leg side, but the Parfitt went across to try and pull it away. She didn't really get very much on it at all. It bobbles out on the leg side.
People filtering in.
Hill, Parfitt again uses her feet, looking to pierce the field at wide, long on. She's not going to get to the rope this time, but again she'll get 2 more as Emily Mundy makes her way round to field and get the throw in.
There's nothing like that feeling, is there? You know, when I had a real job, before I did this, Friday of a bank holiday, finishing work.
And once more, and Parfitt's gone in the air, and she's caught by Emily Mundy coming in from long on. She's made 86, and she just gets a tap on the back from Georgina Start as she walks off. It's a catch for the loanee from Devon, and eventually Lauren Parfitt goes, but she's really been the backbone of this innings. She's made 86 with 13 fours, and she'll get a good hand as she walks off.
Do you know what? I think Alice Hill deserves that as well. I think she's actually bowled quite well. Bowling to batters who are set, it's a difficult job, and she's actually done a good job. But Parfitt, what a fine innings. Parfitt and Jeans look really good players.
That was actually Hill's last delivery, so it was 4 overs, 1 for 40 for her, and Glamorgan 166 for 4 with 2 to go.
Exactly the same as Alice Bird.
Yeah, identical figures. And Charlie Phillips 4 overs for 36. So, you know, there hasn't been really. Emily Geach has bowled 3 overs for 17, so she's done as well as anybody.
Yeah.
And she and Daniels, it looks like, will bowl the last 2 overs.
Yeah. Well, Geach is going to take this one from actually down road end. Morgan will probably want. Well, they want close to 30 off these last 2, won't they? They'll want to be pushing this towards the 200 mark. Here is Geach into the pads of Gammon.
I had a conversation with our good friend Ed Seaborn yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, the potential ceiling of Gloucestershire's batting against Glamorgan if they batted first. I'll come back to what Ed said after this ball.
Geach. That's in the air, that should be out. And it is. Geach strikes, gets a second wicket. And Jackson goes for a duck, perishing in pursuit of quick runs. And Geach has been the pick of the Gloucestershire bowlers so far. What's that? 2 for 20 off 3.3, is it?
Yeah. So
3.2.
It's
Daniels with the catch.
It's a good stint. She bowled the other 3 straight through after the power play. So
Jackson was caught by Liv Daniels off bowling
well
on Emily Geach.
done to her. She hasn't had so much fun in the field, with a couple of half chances that have gone her way, been difficult ones to pull in, and she hasn't done that, but she's kept ahead with the ball, certainly.
Yeah, I think this is Gemma Poole coming to the wicket. She'll be at the striker's end because... Sorry, Gemma Porter. Sorry.
Number 85, Gemma Porter.
She'll be the striker's end because even though they crossed, the law of crossing is now obsolete. Changed a couple of years ago. Geach. It's just tucked into the offside, and the misfield allows them to go through for a single. 167 for 5.
So, come back to that point that Ed and I had this conversation about.
Yeah,
the ceiling for Gloucestershire, and he said, if you started a runner ball, that's 120.
Smashed through the offside. That's 4 runs over those practice wickets. And just creeps over the boundary.
Becca Halliday couldn't reach that with a dive at wide mid-off. There were 2 pursuers from other areas, and the ball literally just dribbled over the rope.
Just kissed the rope, didn't it? Geach. That's in the air. That could well be out. And it is. I think that's Daniels again, isn't it? I know it's Becca Halliday this time. And Gammon goes for 8. And Geach.
She's going to have some impressive figures at the end. With 2 wickets in her last over, and she's not finished yet.
She's what, 2 for 25 or something like that?
She's going to have
3 for 23.
Yeah, she's got 3 for 23 at the moment, so that will be a good effort from her. And Gloucestershire just putting the brake on at the end of this Glamorgan innings. It could have just unravelled horribly for them, but the loss of Parfitt and the desire to score quickly from the batters that follow have led to a little clatter.
Yeah, 150 for 2 at the end of the 16th to 172 for 6. 1 ball shy of 19 is a little bit of a recovery. Whether it's too little, too late, I don't know. But here's the other parfit, Georgia. It's just going to be a leg by. I nearly said Gemma there, but it's Georgia on my mind that I need.
Yeah, so the last 3 overs have cost 23, but they've taken 4 wickets. And it is the wickets column that's just stemming
1 over to go then.
Glamorgan at the moment.
The visitors currently on 100.
Yeah, well bowled Emily Geach. 3 for 24, or 23 I think it was.
3 for 24.
3 for 24.
1 run off the last ball of the last.
It was a leg by though, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a
It
leg
was
by.
a leg by, so it was 3 for 23 then.
Yeah.
So Daniels to bowl the last over. And you've got 2 relatively new batters in. Georgia Parfitt and Gemma Porter. And Daniels just float this up and invite Glamorgan to try and run a fast 2, which they do. Porter running to the non-striker's end that was where Prathana Reddy's throw was going. So Georgia Parfitt with 2 against her name, and obviously tries to go down the ground. There could be a run out here, and a dive from Porter saves her ground at the non-striker's end. Daniels was quick to stop the ball off her own bowling, which of course bowlers always are.
It matters more, doesn't it, when it's your own figures?
Yeah. True.
If someone else's let the ball go for 4.
Georgia Parfitt waits. It's a bit of a slog down to wide long on. They want 2, and Porter's again is running to the danger end, and if that had hit, I think she would have been out, but it didn't. There was good backing up from Melissa Story, and they'll come back for a couple.
Monday looks a good fielder actually.
On the rope for most of this Glamorgan innings. Daniels and floats that again high, and Georgina Parfitt takes 1. Again, Porter's going to have to hair back to the non-striker's end, and she's done her partner well in this over because she's run 3 2s already. Pretty very unselfish.
I think they've got to target the keeper's end here.
179 for 6. Daniels in as a clever paddle. She used her feet to get outside the line of the ball, and that's going to beat Charlie Phillips to the rope. And a boundary to Georgina Parfitt.
I told you your 180 was conservative in.
So, assuming there isn't a no ball or a wide, this will be the last ball of the Glamorgan innings. 183 for 6, giving Gloucestershire a big challenge, and Daniels is going to try and run out here, and she's not going to make it. So Glamorgan finish on 184 for 6 from their 20 overs. Daniels takes her hat, and she finishes with no wicket for 38 from her 4 overs. Geach 3 for 23, Charlie Phillips 1 for 36, Bird 1 for 40, and Hill 1 for 40, the other Gloucestershire bowling figures. But the star really of that Glamorgan innings, Lauren Parfitt's 86. She had a stand of 74 with Daisy Jeans for the first wicket after they lost the toss and were put in. But really, Dan, that was such an excellent platform that provided Parfitt stayed in, I think Glamorgan will have known that they've got what ought to be a match-winning score here, bearing in mind what we've seen when these two sides have played each other before.
Yeah, I think it might be a bridge too far for Gloucestershire. I think they'll be disappointed with that, though. I think there was a lot of fielding mistakes, quite a few wides, quite a few extras, and pressure's a funny thing in cricket, isn't it? Because Parfitt and Jeans came out all guns blazing and put the pressure back onto Gloucestershire, and they didn't cope with it particularly well, perhaps. So, yeah, let's see how they get on in response. We'll know in about 2 hours or so.
Yep, 55 for no wicket off the power play, and they didn't really let up after that. Jeans, Court Hill, bowled Geach 38. Lauren Parfitt, called Mundy, bowled Hill 86 with 13 fours from 58 balls. Mullen, bowled Bird 11. Ellis, stump start, bowled Charlie Phillips 12. Gammon, caught Halliday, bowled Geach 8. Jackson, caught Daniels, bowled Geach. No score. Porter not out 1 and Georgina Parfitt not out 11. There were 17 extras. Gloucestershire will need north of 9 and over if they're going to win this game. We'll be back with you in about 10 minutes for the resumption here at a beautifully sunny Seat Unique Stadium and the Gloucestershire run chase and this opening round of the Women's T20 here in Bristol. Glamorgan 184 for 6 batting first. The Gloucestershire reply in about 10 minutes time.
successfully at the midpoint of the first game in this double header here at the Unique Stadium. For those of you that are maybe just arriving at the ground, a warm welcome along once again. A reminder that today we are donning the new Gloucestershire cricket shirt, which is our new front of shirt sponsor hire on it. You can of course get your kit today in the club store if you get a chance. Make sure you make your way down to the club store at the ground today and get your brand new Gloucestershire cricket shirt with hire proudly emblazoned across the front. So much going on here at the stadium today as well. Aside from the cricket to enjoy, we've got the activation zone, I should say, behind the Jack Russell stand over in the far corner. You can test your reaction skills, you can test your bowling and your throwing as well. There's so many food stalls around the Unique Stadium too, whether it's ice cream, a burger, fish and chips, whatever you want, you can grab it as the day progresses. And finally, from 5:30, we will have the power hour, the return of the power hour today. All pints, both non-alcoholic and alcoholic, are just £5 for that 1 hour from 5:30, and you can enjoy the rest of your day in the sun. Remember to stay hydrated and keep the sun cream on.
Sometimes I just can't believe you happened.
welcome back to the field your two umpires, Nick Piper and Emil Wujsuri.
Toby Osborne announcing the return of the umpires this afternoon as Glamorgan take the field with 184 for 6 on the board, and Gloucestershire off to try and chase that down. And that's going to be no easy task. Yes, a fast outfield. The boundaries are big square, and it's going to be Becca Halliday and Meg Ahern to open the batting for Gloucestershire. Ahern got a half century. Oh, it's got a 46. Sorry, she's got a half century against Cornwall in the T20 Cup, and she got a 46 against Oxfordshire. So both those sides are tier 3. That's the salient point. Didn't really have too much impact in the 50-over competition, but we'll have to see how she does here. Becca Halliday, a bit more prominent in the 50-over cricket, a 49 in the game against Glamorgan, and a 46 against Northants. So she knows how to give it a bit of a biff, shall we say, and she's going to need to do that here.
Yeah, Katie Cobb's going to take us away from the Ashley Down Road end. I like Becca Halliday though. She's a good laugh. You know, she's good value to have a chat with. From Plymouth. Cobb just adjusting her field. She's got a deep mid wicket and a deep cover. Down the leg side, and Gloucestershire's total is underway with a wide.
The first six overs will be the Castell Howell power play.
So the two fielders out are both square of the wicket, one on each side.
It's just into the pads.
Now,
Cobb,
at the pace she's bowling, that is drift, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is on with the arm. A little bit of left arm drift. Halliday using her feet, but that one thumps into her pads.
She won the Glamorgan Academy Player of the Year last year.
Halliday chops that into the offside. Ahern's got to be quick, and Halliday scampers through for a single.
I don't think Meg Ahern was expecting her to call for a single there.
No.
It was I wouldn't say it was an afterthought, but she had to just be brisk at getting down to the striker's end.
Now, Ian, in your neck of the woods in North Gloucestershire, what do you call like a roll or a bap or something like that? As Cobb comes in, that's just angled in, no run.
Well, a bap is a flatter.
Okay, yeah.
A flatter offering, isn't it? A roll, I think, is more the. I'll come back to that in a minute.
That's down the leg side. It's going to be a wide.
The top half of a roll is more round.
Okay.
A bap is flatter on with for both halves of the.
Because what I was getting at are the regional variations, and Cobb, as in Katie Cobb, is a word I think used in the Midlands, isn't it? Like Leicester. Oh, that's down the fine leg, swept and dropped, and Ahern goes through for a single.
I thought Nicole Reed was going to get that second time, having pushed it up in the air and not gathered the ball cleanly first time. She pushed it out of her own reach.
Over the top from Halliday. Is that going to plug? Yes, it does a little. Just going to be 2 to the total. But yeah, Cobb is used in the Midlands. In the Northeast, I've been up there start of the season. They use Stotty.
Yeah, that's very much a word for the Northeast.
But that's like a flatter.
It is.
Yeah.
It's almost like what would I call that? It's almost like a roll you might serve, the length of a roll you might serve a hot dog in.
Yeah, I think they're round but flatter. Yeah. Anyway, Gloucestershire are 6 for none, exactly the same as Glamorgan were at the end of the first over.
So the curly-haired figure of Gemma Porter to bowl from this Bristol Pavilion end. She also bowls spin, but for her it's an orthodox right arm, so it's again it's an off break. And Ahern on strike, and she's clipped that straight to short mid wicket. It's put down. There's Nicole Reid again.
Bowling from the Bristol Pavilion end is number 85, Gemma Porter.
Right into her midriff, and as she went to ground, the ball spilled out, so a chance spilled. And Porter once more. Ahern goes back and chops it into the ground, and it goes out on the offside to one of the 4 fielders, saving one.
She needs to make Glamorgan pay now, because out of the 3 balls that she'd faced before that one, she'd been dropped on 2 of them.
Porter, high action, but again, that's the delivery that the right-handed batter to the off spinner struggles to get away when you've packed the offside, and there's just enough bounce with the harder, newer ball. And again, it has to go back, and that's beaten the field this time. That may run away for 4. It will do.
Yeah, nice shot from Meg Ahern. Strong cutter of the ball. Big future in the game, Meg Ahern.
She's been training at under 19 level.
England.
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, I think.
Bear in mind she's only 17, so certainly seen as a talent. Oh, that's gone high in the air. It may drop safe though. It's gone over the fielder at mid-off, and they're going to come back for a couple.
It's one of your sandwiches out the bunker.
Yeah, very much high in the air, but over Cobb and safely back for 2. There's another cut, and it's gone straight to Charlotte Lambert, and she is out. Meg Ahern, she's beat the field on the offside earlier in the over, but didn't find the placement with that shot, and she goes, and it's a wicket in her first over for Gemma Porter. Catram Lambert and Gloucestershire are 12 for 1.
Yeah, Meg Ahern not rolling the wrists, getting over the ball, and we saw her dropped earlier.
But that's the challenge when you've got 184 facing you. You haven't got ties.
It's scoreboard pressure.
Yeah,
isn't it?
really to have much of a look.
Yeah. Emily Monday just getting a bat put through the letterbox.
For Gloucestershire is number 98.
So she was registered yesterday on loan from Devon, but she's previously been through. So her career path is an interesting one. Pathway at Middlesex, then in the Storm Academy here in 2022, and then at Somerset last year. But she's had an ACL injury, and that was part of the reason, I think, why she was released by Somerset, and she's now back playing in her native Devon as well.
Good change of bowling from the Ashley Down Road end. That's angled into the pads.
And this is Lambert.
Is it Lambert?
Yeah, she's the only one without a shirt number.
Yeah, this one's ponytail is blocking that. It's a problem you and I don't have, Ian.
Yeah, she's on loan from Surrey.
That's in the air and over the top of backward point, and runs away for a couple down to Katie Cobb. A couple of Devonians out there. But if Emily Monday can get a big score here and Gloucestershire win this, Boomtown Rats will be renaming their song I Do Like Mondays. That's no ball, is it? Yeah, she's hit the stumps on the way through. So it's a Stephen Finn no ball. It used to be a dead ball back in his day, and he did it so often, they actually changed the law, and it became a no ball.
Just shows how close.
Free hit.
Yeah, it goes how close to the stump she was getting.
Yeah.
So Becca Halliday's got 6 in the circle, 7 in the circle, and only 2 out here.
Free hit coming up. And it's Polder. Well, that's the best place to bowl it, isn't it?
Yeah, she moved right across and had middle stump knocked out. You could see what she was trying to do.
Yeah, but I wonder if she'd have been so innovative without the free hit.
Almost certainly not.
I think you may be right, Ian. Lambert. Yeah. Hello, pushes that into the covers.
Yeah,
No run.
If she's learned her cricket playing at the Oval, then you can bet your last pound that her disciplines in terms of bowling ought to be good, because those wickets give you nothing, do they?
Yeah, there's some good cricketers down there as well. That's tried to cut
It's
away.
good carry too.
You know, people like Alice Capsey, some good players plying their trade in South London.
Just asking, I think, Lauren Parfitt if they want to just change the field a bit here for Halliday. So they're going to put an extra fielder out on the leg side, and they're bringing up third man into the circle.
That's going to be 4 runs. And Gloucestershire needed that. And that finishes the 3rd over. So 19 for 1. At this stage, Glamorgan were 24 without loss.
A reminder to please stay hydrated throughout the day. We do have various water refill hydration
Protective
stations around the
head
ground.
guard being brought on for wicketkeeper Georgia Parfitt. So she's just conscious that she's going to be standing up to Porter. There might be the chance of an edge flying up into her face. So she's gone for the...
I think that last over was actually Eve Jackson.
Well, she should have 11 on the back of her shirt, and there was no number on the back of that bowler's shirt. Porter at this end.
I think there might be a number, but it's blocked by her ponytail. I think help the commentators out, get her a haircut like yours, Ian.
Porter. And the attempted cut by Mundy, just gets underneath it. Tries to replay the shot, but it only went through to keeper Parfitt, who waits again. And this time that's a better shot. The little deft dab as a chase for Daisy Jeans, and they'll come back for a couple. She's going down towards the what is colloquially known by some supporters as the south of France end, and it will be like the south of France there later on. Goodness me, very warm.
The Klinger corner, you call it, don't you?
Yeah. Floated up by Porter and clipped by Monday on the bounce back to the bowler.
Well, I suppose, you know, here in Bristol you've got Montpellier down the road, haven't you? So you could say it is the south of France end.
Another fielder going onto the offside for that dab shot. They've got 5 now, saving 1 for Gemma Porter. Staying around the wicket is Porter, and she just give away a single here. Monday keeping the strike off the last ball of the over, so Gloucestershire in pursuit of 185. Cobb has bowled a single over for 6 runs. Lambert a single over for 7 runs. And Porter has bowled 2 overs, and she's taken the 1 wicket to fall, that of Meg Ahern for 7. She's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 9.
Yeah, Gloucestershire already behind the run rate. Crowd's building nicely though for this evening. It is Lambert. It's the scoreboard that's got it wrong. As Monday on the bank holiday puts that one into the leg side.
I have to say, I know I opened the broadcast this afternoon by saying that it's much better to be here than on the motorway. I would absolutely say that now. You can just imagine the queues, can't you? A half-term weekend with a bank holiday and forecast as glorious as it is.
Halliday flicks this one into the leg side. Yeah, tell me about it. Nice little 4-hour journey up here, down to the West Country. But it's good to be back in Bris Vegas. That's punched by Monday. Didn't make a very nice sound off the bat.
She's tall, Lambert, isn't she? And she's getting, if it's not lift really, is it? She's getting good bounce.
Yeah, a little bit of extra zip, isn't there? Glamorgan already look a lot more accurate bowling wise than Gloucestershire. That's worked off the legs quite nicely by Monday, but only for a single.
B. Ellis is out on the boundary at deep square. Still in the power play at the moment. Gloucestershire haven't really been able to profit from these opening 6 overs as Glamorgan did. Now another change in the field to get for Halliday again. They're bringing 3rd man up, and there's an extra fielder out now on the deep leg side boundary.
Lambert in. Holloway heaves that one, but again can only pick out Ellis. The deep backward square. That's a single. 1 ball left of the 5th. Gloucestershire 26 for 1,
and only 2 boundaries so far as well. Yeah. And that's the big difference.
And at this stage, well, at the end of the 5th, Glamorgan were 44 without loss. Monday can't get this through the covers, so 26 for 1 at the end of the 5th.
Yeah, good stuff from Lambert. She hasn't taken a wicket, but it's not probably actually the quickest bowler that we've seen today on either side. She's probably quicker than Alice Bird.
Yeah.
Open the attack for Gloucestershire, and here is, slightly later than advertised by Dan, Eve Jackson. So the last.
Sorry for being premature, Ian.
And 11, Eve Jackson.
So she's going to bowl up right arm, medium pace again in terms of an award winner like Glamorgan. She won their Young Player of the Year in 2025. She's still only 19 now. So right arm over the wicket, floated up and punched straight to the player with, at this stage, the biggest impact on the game, Lauren Parfitt at mid-off. Beck Halliday's not got away yet, really. 11 off 14. That's over the top of Porty. She's on the chase. It will plug in the outfield and they'll come back for a couple. Went a long way up, but it dropped safe ultimately. And he's got to start crunching this attack a little bit. If Gloucestershire trying to get anywhere close to this Glamorgan total, that's a single for her out to Mullen on the deep mid-wicket boundary.
She's quite wristy in her delivery, isn't she, Jackson? Just a flick of the wrist gets the ball down there.
Fielding change here for Lauren Parfitt. So Emily Monday on strike. They want to do something a bit different. Jackson in once more, and that's gone straight to Lambert at cover. There's no run there.
By the way, if you're thinking of coming down here for the Somerset game on the 5th of June, I believe there are only a handful of tickets left. So I would get in quickly to avoid disappointment.
Jackson from the pavilion end floated down the leg side. That'll be given as a wide. And acknowledged by the scorers who are in the box to our left. We're up on the 3rd floor of the Bristol pavilion. Looking out on a very pleasant scene on this Friday afternoon. Jackson close to the stumps, clipped in the air over the top of those 4 fielders on the edge of the circle, and that will run away for 4. A welcome boundary for Emily Monday.
Yeah, that's a nice shot. It wasn't a half volley, and she manufactured that.
And while you're in the power play with no cover out on the rope on the offside, if you do middle, it's a relatively safe shot to play.
Yeah.
Nothing Mullen could do about that. She's back in position. Jackson to bowl again, and Monday goes on the fine on the onside this time. The chase for Porter. Oh, she wanted 2, and Halliday wasn't interested. So they've had to settle for 1. Monday will keep the strike at the end of the over, and that is the end of the power play. Gloucestershire 35 for 1, and at this point Glamorgan were 55 for no wicket. So there's the comparison. Only 1 wicket down, but these two, if they're going to get into some sort of a challenging position, have really got to profit now that the fielding restrictions from a Glamorgan point of view put them in an even more secure place, because they've only got to have 4 inside the circle if they want, and on this occasion they do. And there's a bowling change at the Ashley Down Road end as well. Cobb is back.
Cobb is back. Oh, that's nearly bowled Monday. Nearly sneaked through. Now, Ian, the new T20 kit, which is available in the club shop and also on glosscricket.co.uk. That's well bowled, well flighted. Are you a fan, Ian? Will you be wearing it down the nightclubs at the Gloucester Road later on tonight?
I quite like the colour.
Yeah, I like the style as well. I'm a big fan. That's Nerdle into mid-wicket, and Monday will scamper through for a single.
Because there are so many shades of yellow, are there not?
There are. I mean, you can have a sort of fluorescent yellow, you can have like a mustard yellow.
The canary yellow, which is much paler than the Gloucestershire shirt is.
Bang. Full toss. Halliday might feel she's missed out there as it's heaved down to long on for a single.
Yes, that she might have gone across the line there, but there were 2 fielders out on the leg side, so she was perhaps a bit wary of doing that.
Is there a mellow yellow? Down the leg side, and that'll be a wide. What other types of yellow are there? Would you describe amber as a yellow, or is it an orange? Sort of halfway between, isn't it?
Amber is not a yellow. Definitely not.
No. It's worked out to long on. It's only going to be 1 though.
it's tighter cricket from Glamorgan, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Across the board at the moment.
It's more disciplined. Cobb to Halliday, who misses out their drives pleasantly, but can't get it past mid-off.
When I used to play many moons ago, the club I used to play for had a fixture where our seconds played another club's, no, our seconds played their thirds, because they felt their depth was stronger, and that we weren't good enough to, and the seconds against the first, so in the same fashion. It feels a little bit like that here.
Yeah, well, our second 11 at my club in North London have got Stevenage thirds tomorrow, and I'm not saying Stevenage has got a problem with the youth in the town, but they have to bring the stumps in at tea because the local kids nick them.
Nicole Reid, this is from the pavilion end. So a change, Jackson off after just one over. And Nicole Reid with her very own version of the leg break. Monday waits, and that's a full toss, which is clipped straight down to Daisy Jeans, who had a good knock earlier today in the Glamorgan innings. She made 38 and set them off towards that quite imposing total.
Ian, I've got a question for you. With these two batting at the moment, does it make it a bank holiday Monday? I'll get my coat, shall I?
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
Halliday just pulled that on into the leg side and out to Mullen for a single. 41 for one, chasing 185 to win. We're through the power play now. And Reid with a ball that should and could have bowled Amelie Monday, but it just went behind her as she tried to sweep that on the leg side. There's a fielding change. Porter's just gone finer. And Monday gets that off the bottom of the bat. She'll try and get two here, but she'll have to settle for a single because Mullen's onto it quickly in front of a stand that is slowly filling up, the mound stand. And just a sprinkling of spectators at 3 o'clock when we started, but now people making their way in ahead of the men's game later. Reid floats that high up and it's clipped on the bounce to Lauren Parfitt at mid-off, but there's no chance of a run.
I'm going to make way for a special guest we've got now.
Okay, you do that, Dan, and we'll bring our guest in at the end of the 8th over. 41 for 1 Gloucestershire. At this stage, Glamorgan was 73 without loss. Afternoon to the chair.
Afternoon, Mr. Randall. How are we?
I'm good, thank you. This has been a challenge for the Gloucestershire girls today, Gloucester women today, against a side who want to be Tier 1, Glamorgan. And batting-wise, I think they showed why they wanted to be Tier 1 earlier on. I know you've been here all afternoon.
Yeah, no, they batted well. Thought the girls stuck at it well, but there's a bit of a difference in terms of experience out there, and it's showing. But they're giving a good game of it, and it's not impossible. They'll have to go some to improve the net run rate from here, though.
Yeah, I mean, lovely that they start on a double header day with such a lovely conditions. Here is Jackson back into the attack, and Amelie Monday works another single through the leg side. She's going to get two actually, and her running and the placement of the shot will mean they come back for a second run. Meg Ahern, the only batter out so far, caught by Lambert off Porter for 7. But these two have stabilised things without really being able to get right on top of the Glamorgan bowling. Jackson from the Ashley Down Road end, and Monday a bit of invention, hooks that over her shoulder with a little sort of paddle shot, almost a almost a scoop shot, and she's going to get 4 for it as well. So the loanee from Devon, albeit she's been in the Gloucestershire system before, picks up another boundary.
Yeah, good shot that, wasn't it? You'd have been proud of that, wouldn't you, Ian?
I'd have never played that shot, Peter, and you know that as well as I do. Jackson to Bundy once more, into the ground this time. I mean, she's come up from tier 3, so Fran Wilson clearly thinks that she's got the ability to be able to play tier 2.
No doubt. And look, Fran is obviously a terrifically talented cricketer and scouring for good players.
Jackson in, Mundy again. That's a slap down the ground, and it's well caught at long on, coming in off the rope. Congratulations for, I think, Daisy Jeans, who's taken the catch. But the second Gloucestershire wicket falls, and that was well judged. And a wicket for Jackson, and a second Gloucestershire batter departs, and they're 48 for 2. Halliday remains on 14, but she's lost a second partner now. Monday with 2 boundaries in her 20, but she goes with Gloucestershire 48 for 2.
Yeah, Shane, obviously having got 6 off the first couple of balls or so, just didn't quite get enough distance on it, and well judged, to be fair. The catch had a long time to think about it. Didn't have to move that much out at long on, but a comfortable catch, and that, I think, is the challenge, isn't it? When you look at the run rate and it says 5.5, and you look at the scoreboard and the required rate is 12.1. So you're going to have to try and accelerate, and not surprising that wickets might start to fall.
Yeah, worth reiterating that Glamorgan got to finals day in this format last year. They were beaten in the semi-final by Yorkshire, so they are probably one of the dark horses to win the competition overall. And Prathana Reddy has come in at number 4. Jackson to bowl 2. That's outside the off stump and taken by wicketkeeper Georgina Parfitt.
She batted well, didn't she?
Yeah, got runs late down the order, but it was Lauren at the top who really was the backbone of that Glamorgan total. Reddy chops that into the offside. She won't get a run. Fielded by Katie Cobb. The end of Jackson's over. So Cobb has bowled 2 overs for 10. Porter has bowled 2 overs, 1 for 9. Lambert 2 overs for 11. Reed's over only cost 3. And Jackson has now bowled 2 overs, 1 for 15. So nothing particularly loose there from Glamorgan. But Peter, 3 of the girls' T20s are double headers.
Yes.
So
deliberately so.
Yeah. So that they can have the experience of playing in front of, bigger crowds and on bigger playing areas. I made the point earlier on. Reed's going to continue that this is a big playing area compared to someone like a Cheltenham, or if they were to play a game at Rockhampton, for example. Reed from the pavilion end, it's just chopped away into the offside to B. Ellis, who won't get a run.
Yeah, you see at Rockhampton, the shot that led to the last wicket might well have gone over the ropes. It wouldn't have been far off. It's a long boundary.
Yeah, and particularly the square boundaries here are very long. We haven't had as many 3s today as I thought we might have done. But Glamorgan's placement when they were batting with their shots was pretty good as a rule, and Halliday clips that to mid-off. I think it may have just dropped in front of Lauren Parfitt. I mean, her body was in front of the ball as it approached her. I'm not sure whether she actually dropped that. It was
my initial impression, Ian, was that it did go down as a catch, but
so you have another chance here. That one is just short, but they're going to get a single anyway, and Halliday will rotate the strike and give Prathana Reddy a first chance to have a look at Nicole Reed. I mean, the girls have had a difficult start in the 50 over competition. batting first every time,
Yeah.
and finding it difficult to defend. Actually, reasonable totals.
Yeah, and I mean the numbers have been pretty good, but as you say, defending has proved a challenge. But it's all part of the learning curve.
And it's Fran's first season as a head coach as well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and she's getting to grips with what she's got, and she'll build. There's no question about that. We know she'll take time for her to build.
Reed, and it's tossed right up and ready again. Plays that to mid off. She should get one, and she will. As a misfield by Lauren Parfitt. I'll ask perhaps you. I know this is I apologize. This is slightly an unfair question, but do you get the impression that Fran identified some what I would call easy fixes during the winter and has worked on those to try and get the skill level of the players up?
I can see why you're saying that. I don't know. I mean, what I'd say about Fran is she is fiercely competitive. I mean, you don't play the seriousness of cricket that Fran Wilson did if you're not got a real inner drive. She wants to win every game, and I think people, John, Lewis, myself, we're sort of saying, look, it's going to take you time to get the players used to playing cricket in a competitive way. You're going to be playing against full-timers. Clearly Gloucestershire ladies are not full-time. They're not even, professionals in that sense. So it'll take a bit of time.
Jackson to continue from the Ashley Down Road end, pulled away by Prathana Reddy. There is a fielder out on the deep mid-wicket boundary, a straightish mid-wicket, and a combination of Lambert and Jeans has kept them down to 2. Good
example there, Ian, of where in a different ground that probably goes for 4.
Yeah, and actually Glamorgan might have made that 4 in their innings. 52 for 2, chasing 185. Jackson in, ready onto the back foot. She'll get 1, but Jeans is coming in from long on. Is there a lot of anticipation amongst the men's squad about the T20?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously very frustrating to lose David Payne, to lose Liam Scott, and early on to lose David Milan. But yes, I think everyone's looking forward to it.
Jackson in. Oh, and Becca Halliday has gone across to try and play that ramp shot once more, and she's been bowled. So a bit of creativity in shot selection has proved Halliday's downfall. She goes for 17, and Gloucestershire are 53 for 3. I think a few years ago that shot would not have been played, but there's so much constant invention
I think the other
across
bit,
cricket now that Halliday sees that as a routine shot.
Well, and not only that, Ian, if you look at you're trying to find gaps in the field, and there isn't, if in the same way that we saw earlier, if you get that shot away, there's nobody at fine leg, long leg, and you're going to pick up a boundary. And as we've seen, even a really well struck shot earlier is only going to bring you 2. So if you pierce that infield, you've got fine leg, you've got sort of a short third man. You get past those, you're going for 4 if you've hit it hard enough. So not sure what's happened to Mr. Whiting, Ian. Has he gone off for a few pints? Oh, here he is. He's back. Reappeared in his sunnies.
Melissa Story into bat at number 5, and she'll off the first ball she'll just pick up a boundary, chopped away down through where backward point would be, and it's just beaten the pursuing fielders to the rope for 4. When I say about optimism from the men's side of things, it's a bit of a reset after a difficult start in the championship.
Yes, and I think we always thought the white ball squad might be what's the right word? Probably a bit more competitive. We knew it would be a red ball reset. But to lose certainly 2 games by 2 wickets is very frustrating when decent totals were set. 250, 260. That's a good game to cricket, but you're here to win.
Jackson in, ready, chops once more. That's stopped this time, and Nicole Reed with the throw quickly in, and Prathana Reddy answered the call, and they scamper through for one more. So end of Jackson's over. She's done well. She bowled 1 over from this Bristol Pavilion end and now 2 from the Ashley Down Road end, and she's taken 2 for 23. And Gloucestershire are 58 for 3 off 11. At this stage, Glamorgan were 99 for 1.
Right, I better go and do some chair duties, Ian. So I shall hand back to Dan White. It might pop up a bit later. Good to chat with you, and we'll talk to you a bit later. All the best.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Peter Matthews there.
And here is Nicole Reid with tossed up from this Bristol Pavilion end. Leaves a lot of air to her leg breaks. And Glamorgan still have 4 in the circle on the offside, only 1 on the leg side. They're trying to say to Gloucestershire, okay, we'll give you 1 on the leg side if you want. And that one's gone down to long on to Daisy Jeans, but we're trying to cut off the boundaries and prevent you having a leg up back into this match. Reid, very high loop on the delivery, and ready on 4, can't get it away, fielded by Lauren Parfitt at mid-off. Reid with a whirl of the arms. That's again straight to Mullen this time. Just to chat about later, if you are thinking of coming down, there is still room for the men's match. Tickets not available they're not available on the gate as such. You have to book them via the Gloucestershire Cricket website, print off the ticket, or leave it on your phone as you'll get it scanned when you come to the ground. But there will be room later. And Gloucestershire pick up 1, ready, thinks about a second. You've got 3 fielders converging on the ball, and there's a cry of no from Melissa Story. We're in the 12th over. And Gloucestershire, they're going along at 5, which is not a disgrace, but it's shy of what they want. Melissa Story will get 1 more again up to Jeans, who took that well-judged catch earlier. And Nicole Reid has bowled 3 overs for 8 runs. And leg break bowlers, mystery spinners, call them what you will, still have a place, very much of a place in short form cricket. And we're going to see a particularly interesting one later on in the Gloucestershire-Warwickshire match with this Pakistan spinner that Warwickshire have signed. Who
is that? Jan?
No, it's Cobb to continue. An appeal for an LBW against Melissa Story, which is turned down. This is your over, Dan.
Sorry.
Apologies for taking the first ball.
Sorry, Cobb from the Ashley Down Road end. Trying to work out who this. Ian will tell us. Here is Cobb, slow left arm. Story tries to work that one through wicket with a hint of bottom hand.
The problem was I had the name in my head, but it was the wrong way round. It's Usman Tariq.
Okay. You had him down as Tariq Usman.
Well, I think that somewhere along the line the vowels and the consonants were not quite in the right order.
Story scampers through for 1 on the arm.
Yeah, he's got interesting record. He's played 9 T20 internationals for Pakistan, but his domestic record is 89 wickets at 18.
Wow. At what economy though? Story cuts. Just for a single?
Next to nothing, I think.
Tighter than Nicole Reid. Tighter than our producer James Healy at the bar. Oh, Boulder. P ready, trying to manufacture something caught in 2 minds. And Katie Cobb strikes. And that is the end for Thana Reddy. She goes for 5. And Gloucestershire in a host of trouble here. 64 for 4.
Usman Tariq's economy rate is under 7 and over.
Yeah, which is decent. T20 level. Yeah.
So we'll look forward in the nicest possible sense to seeing him later on.
Yeah, no, I love watching a leg spinner. You know, Pakistani leg spinner from the 1980s, Abdul Qadir, was an absolute joy to watch with his boxer tricks. And he was, because leg spin, what people forget was it almost became obsolete. It was a dying art. I mean, there were only about 2 leg spinners in the country. There was Harry Latchman, like the end of the 60s, early 70s. It was like Harry Latchman at Middlesex. I can't really remember too many.
So Robin Hobbs would have been later than that at Essex, wouldn't he?
Yeah. And then Abdul Qadir sort of got people back into it, but it's Shane Warne, his cob, as that's driven up to mid-off by the new batter, who is
Georgina Stark. She kept wicket earlier on, so a wicket for Cobb.
And then Shane Warne made it sexy again, didn't he? He made it funky.
Yeah, so Jackson 3 for 23, Porter 1 for 9, and now Cobb 1 for 13, the wicket takers for Glamorgan.
Talking of leg spinners, I've been very impressed with Ed Middleton so far this season. It's good to see him back in the Gloucestershire side.
He didn't play at all in first-class cricket last year. The economical read to continue. And
Stopped.
I was going to say slipped at the far end. That's the story. Picks up us 1 run off the first ball of the over, so the Gloucestershire keeper will now take strike. Now, I think Tariq is not necessarily a leg spinner, he's more of a Muralitharan type.
Ah, like a mystery spinner.
Yeah. Reed from the Bristol Pavilion end continues, and they'll get 2. And way out on the leg side again. Georgina Stark this time. Pushing Melissa Story to run the second one quickly. Reed up, and Stark is bowled. It's floated right up. Stark tried to pull it into the gap on the leg side, and she is bowled leg stump. Here's a second look at it. It's quite an open stance. And even Mark the cameraman thought that the ball was going to go away into the deep in front of the man's stand, but it's 67 for 5 and Stark goes for just 2.
Yeah, Reed 1 for 11 now, 3.5 overs.
Gloucestershire haven't really had an answer to her at all. And Emily Geach comes out at number 7.
I've got a feeling this could unravel quite quickly for Gloucestershire here.
So Daniels, Hill, Charlie Phillips and Alice Bird still to come.
Oh, the first southpaw of the day. We haven't had a left-hander yet, have we?
No, in fact she is the only left-hander in either team. She bowls right-handed but bats left. And so she's sponsored by the Gloucestershire Exiles, who do so much good work fundraising for the club. Reed in, and a ball to Geach, who works that into the onside. They'll think about 2. Lambert's onto it quickly, but it's a throw in. Exiles always have a very well attended day at the Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah, just been having a chat with Nick Webbs next door and a lady called Rosa, Rosa does cricket, and just saying both of them, Glamorgan look on a different level to Gloucestershire here.
Reed up and punched away by Melissa Story. Out to Lambert at deep cover. Just pick up 1.
Story looks a good player. She's technically correct.
Daisy Jeans switches positions on the boundary here. She's staying at long on for the left-handed Geach that comes across in front of our commentary position, but even Geach can't get Reed away, and that's a really impressive spell from Nicole Reed. She's only 18 years old and she's taken 1 for 13 in her 4 overs.
Yeah, miserly.
So really good effort from her, and Cobb is going to come and back and complete her spell. She's got 1 over left and she's going to bowl now from the Ashdown Road end. 6 overs to go for Gloucestershire and they're 69 for 5.
Story punches that to mid-off. So 116 off 5.5 in. Do you think this might be beyond Gloucestershire at the moment?
It's fairly tall order down from here, I would say.
Story, that's a mis-stumping. Oh, and they're going to scramble through for the cheekiest of buys.
I mean, here, I don't know, I'll get the Glamorgan numbers up in a bit, but we've only had 5 boundaries in this Gloucestershire innings. And in the Glamorgan innings, there were 25 in fact. So that basically tells you where the game is heading.
Yeah, it's I mean, the 2 spinners have been outstanding, Cobb and Reed for Glamorgan. Oh, that's Geach has nearly taken Story out there. Melissa falling over like a barroom drunk on a Friday night. Geach, reverse, and there's another boundary. Yeah, just gets enough on that, but
long chase for B. Ellis, but in vain in the end. But a welcome boundary for Gloucestershire.
Yeah, but really I think the tale for Glamorgan is Parfitt and Jeans at the top of the order have just battered Gloucestershire out of this. That's down the leg side.
First really bad wide we've seen from anybody in the Glamorgan side.
Again, Cobb has only gone for 18 off 3.4. Floated up and Geach nurdles this one out towards long on. So if you look at the context of T20 cricket, if you've got 2 bowlers who bowl 8 overs, nearly half the overs of the game for 30 odd, you're always going to be in with a chance, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Cobb, Story, goes agricultural. Oh, she's going to get a boundary.
Lambert went too far. I think she thought the ball was going to spin when it hit the ground, and it went straight on, and it bounced past her and away over the rope for 4. So 4 to Gloucestershire's own TMS commentator. So 15 overs gone, 5 to go. And just to mark your card, we'll have coverage of this match, is that Gloucestershire's women are next in action on the Sunday the 31st of May against Kent. That's an away game, and then they've got 2 double headers here at the beginning of June on a Friday and a Sunday. The home game on the Friday is against Middlesex, and the game on the Sunday is again in double header against Worcestershire.
Yeah, Kent will be providing their own commentary for that. So I think Molly Davis, the ex-Kent cricketer, and Rita Green from the BBC will be providing the voices behind that one.
So you will be able to follow that game on the 31st of May, Sunday the 31st of May. Jackson's coming back for her last over. So that will leave Porter and Lambert to bowl out. 5 overs to go at this point. Can Gloucestershire get to 3 figures? That would be a little bit of respectability.
Yeah, I think Geach just pulled out of that one.
Jackson into the left-handed Emily Geach. That's just pushed out on the offside and fielded again by Mullen. Still 4. Saving the single on the offside. Jackson around the wicket to the left-hander. Geach goes into the gap on the onside and she might get 4. She split the field and it will run away for 4 down towards the club office. Neither Ellis nor Lauren Parfitt could haul that in.
Never mind Geach, that was more like Gooch.
Good power on that. That's a long boundary out to that part of the ground. Two fielders right on the rope. Jackson again, staying around the wicket. Geach again goes for the same shot. Doesn't quite pick the same gap. Parfitt will run round and gather it. They come back for an easy 2. And Emily Geach trying to just push the weight along a little bit. She has 12.
Yeah, these two are giving Gloucestershire a semblance of respectability, aren't they?
Jackson around the wicket. Oh, Geach, that's a bit more of a slap through the covers. Chris Dent would have played that shot many a time, and that will run away for 4.
I'm going to tell him when I go and see him for a coffee at the interval, I'm going to tell him that you said he slapped it. I'm going to say, Ian Randall said you slapped it, Chris. 16,000 first class runs, and you slapped it.
That particular shot was a slap.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Putting the weight on the back foot. Geach has caught Melissa Story up, changing the field. It's been forced by that last shot. Geach goes, well bowled, tries to go down the gun. It's a slower ball.
Yeah, and a Yorker, well bowled.
A bit of a low 5 for Eve Jackson from Beth Gammon. She went back to her mark. About 9 paces. And it's worked again onto the onside. They want 2. And that's good running. There's a Story going to the danger end. And Jackson has finished her spell 2 for 35. She's a bit expensive in the last 2 overs, but Glamorgan are going to have quite a big net advantage on run rate after today. Sometimes it's not always about, yes, it's whether you win, but sometimes a big win can really help you if the group becomes tight later on. And they are going to get quite a boost to net run rate out of this match. 4 overs to go, 92 for 5. Gloucestershire have to just about double the score in the last 4 overs.
Who else do you think will be in with the chances? I mean, Glamorgan have got to be decent. A Middlesex in the group, I think, possibly.
Middlesex are in the group because they play Gloucestershire in the next home game here.
Yeah.
So Lambert to come back.
In she comes. Story gives that some whippage out to deep mid wicket. When is that Middlesex game then?
That is Friday, June the 5th. So that is
before the Somerset game.
2 weeks.
Here.
2 weeks.
It's a double header.
Correct.
Yeah. As we said earlier, there are just a handful of tickets remaining for that fixture. So you know what to do to avoid disappointment. Go and see www.glosscricket.co.uk as Geach almost decapitates Story again. I think She might have a glass of wine later, don't you? She's nearly killed her twice. $94 for 5. Melissa. Oh, I think Gloucestershire might be questioning the consistency because I thought that was quite wide there.
In a close game,
Yeah.
they might have queried it rather more.
Good stuff there. Slower ball Yorker again. And Story can only work this one out towards the leg side for a single. 95 for 5. Story's on 18, Geach 19. These two building something a little more positive.
Emily Geach looks a worker of the ball, doesn't she?
Yeah. Geach out to long on for a single, but this is good bowling, this.
She has hit 3 4s, but she's tried to, you know, score off. Important to try and score off every ball.
She's a busy player, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Lambert in, Story, that's up in the air. I think it's going to be safe. Oh, and it's gone over the fielder's head as well. They'll come back for 2.
It's bounced on one of the practice wickets and gone over Gemma Porter.
Good placement, Melissa. 2 more to the total, 98 for 5 at the end of the 17th.
She's going to walk in now and bowl the 2 remaining overs from this Bristol Pavilion end. Have you been with us all afternoon? I hope it's added to your bank holiday Friday. I think we probably knew maybe as early as the end of the power play that Gloucestershire were going to be right up against it, chasing this 184 for 6 that Glamorgan got. They were only 1 wicket down at halfway, 87 for 1, and you could see them being able to power on in the second half of their innings, which they dutifully did, particularly through their captain, Lauren Parfitt, who made 86 off 58 balls. And in reply, 3 Gloucestershire batters have now got to 20, including both the current batters, along with Amelie Monday, but they haven't gone on from there. At least have the chance to do so in the closing overs. Porter to the left-handed Geach. Staying around the wicket, and again Geach goes into the gap on the onside. B. Ellis comes in off the straight mid-wicket boundary, and they'll just keep them down to a single. If you saw the Gloucestershire squad for the men's game when it was announced yesterday, squad of 14. It's again cut this time by Mr. Story. They'll want 2, but Story doesn't gamble on the throw from B. Ellis. You may have known her too well from her time here in Bristol last year.
There's the 100 up.
There is the 100 in the 18th over, 100 for 5. A couple of interesting names in that squad. Geach again, he goes swinging that away. That will be 4.
She likes that area, doesn't she? She likes it sort of wide, long on, cow corner.
Glamorgan have kept the gap there to try and encourage her to play the shot in the belief that there might be a miscue, but so far there hasn't been one. And Geach on to 25. Porter around the wicket too. She goes straight this time. There is a fielder at long off, and they'll come back. Only take 1 in the end.
Yeah, Daisy Jeans doing the fielding down in front of us.
These two have added 38. Porter into Story, who whips that into the leg side. Oh, it's gone straight through Mullen, and it will go for 4. We've had a couple of those today where the fielder's been more conscious about getting to the ball and throwing it in than concentrating on gathering the ball in the first place. And that was quite a cheap boundary given away by Glamorgan, and I don't think Story will complain. Gloucestershire, with 2 overs to go, are 109 for 5. And these two are now the top 2 scorers on the card.
As grounds get harder, outfields get bobblier, don't they? And you've got to get something behind the ball. But these two, for Gloucestershire, I think batted really well. I think Melissa Story is technically correct, with Geach giving it a bit of biff early onside, but they're both quite enjoyable to watch in their own different ways. That's heaved away by Geach, but doesn't connect as Lambert comes in for a last over.
Just say those 2 names that really struck me in that Gloucestershire squad. Kamran Darawal, who we haven't seen in first team duty yet, and Daz Ahmed, who hasn't played for first team cricket this season yet.
Yeah. That's again into Geach's favourite area, her modus operandi.
The one player obviously we assume will play, I'm sure he will, is Duan Janssen, the replacement for Liam Scott.
Yeah, Cameron Darrowell's an interesting one. He scored 142 for Bristol in the Whipple. Bristol Cricket Club, I think. Was he at Golden Hill? I can't remember where he is, but he that's down the leg side, but not given a wide. But he got 142. Also, Chris Dent in his academy. He's got this contraption which measures the speed off the bat. So it's like on a tee, the cricket ball's on a tee, and you whack it with a bat. Cameron Darrowell was top of the Gloucestershire batters who all tried it. Story heaved into the leg side, and that's fielded a deep mid-wicket. I'll tell you what, Story and Geach look as if they're timing it far better than any of the other Gloucestershire batters.
Well, just worth bearing in mind as you watch this game, this is the pitch they're going to use at 7 o'clock for the Gloucestershire-Warwickshire Bears match.
Lambert. Geach looking to put that one into fish ponds.
Or if not into fish ponds, certainly as into the old college that was the building that is behind the mound stand.
It's the old set of casualty, isn't it? I think it was called Brunel College back in those days. Bang. Geach straight down the ground. Moves into the 30s.
And these two might yet finish the Gloucestershire response to Glamorgan's 184 for 6 with a 50 partnership. If they can stay together for the last over, they only need 2. They've added 48 at the moment, and that would be a bit of a fillet for them at the end of a game where Glamorgan are going to take the points. So Porter will bowl the last over.
There's something called a power hour. I have to find out what that is.
Porter in, clipped down the ground by Story. Jeans is on the chase for it. They'll take 1, and Emily Geach says want to come back for the 2, and they do. And there is the 50 partnership between these two, which from 67 for 5 is a good effort. Geach has made 31 of them and Story 17.
Yeah, well batted, you two.
We're in the last over. And Story sweeps. There is a fielder at deep square. Nicole Reed's out there, and they'll just take the single. interesting that this is, I mean, Geach is the only left-hander, but I wonder what impact having the right and left-hand combination has had.
Yeah, agree. It's hard then for a bowler to get a consistent line, isn't it?
Yeah, all the off spinners have bowled around the wicket. And Geach goes straight to the field this time at short fine leg, who is Katie Cobb, and there's no run there. So 118 for 5 against 184 for 6. It has panned out perhaps as we kind of predicted it might. With a big hoik attempted by Geach, doesn't get bat on it. I wish he's got a bottom edge on that. 2 balls to go. Gloucestershire. We did wonder whether they would have 50 runs too many, Glamorgan. And in reality, might have just a little more than that, as Porter in the last over bowls that again with a very loopy trajectory, and Mr. Story can't get it away. So this is the last ball. What will Story manage to find from it? And the answer is that she is stumped. Porter gets a wicket, and Gloucestershire finish on 119 for 6, and they lose by 65 runs overall, and it leaves Geach not out 32, Story out for 29, the second top score. But that 50 partnership will give Gloucestershire a bit of impetus going into that game at Kent, in the knowledge that if they do lose wickets at the top of the order, there's something in the middle that can still get them to something akin to a competitive total against some of the other teams they're going to play.
Yeah, certainly. But well batted, Melissa Story. Took one for the team there at the end. I'd have just patted it back and got myself a little not out. Good for the average, you know. But no, she batted very well. She ended up on 29. And Emily Geach was 32 not out, but Glamorgan have been the far better side with bat, with ball, and in the field. And in Lauren Parfitt and Daisy Jeans, they've got a really exciting pair at the top of the order, and their spinners as well, Reed and Cobb, were absolutely superb. So well played, Glamorgan. They'll take the spoils back over the Severn Bridge with them. And Ian and I, well, we're looking forward to this one, aren't we, for blast off?
Yep, 7 o'clock this evening, Gloucestershire against Warwickshire Bears here at Bristol. Still tight. If you're in the area, do come down to see the first of the T20 home matches this season. Glamorgan, though, in this Women's T20 League 2, 184 for 6 they made, having been put into bat. Lauren Parfitt, 86. Daisy Jeans, 38, the main contributors. 3 wickets for Emily Geach, 1 each for Alice Bird, Charlie Phillips, and for Alice Hill. And in the reply, Gloucestershire finished on 119 for 6. Becca Halliday made 17, Mega Hearn 7, Emily Monday 20, Prathana Reddy 5, and Georgia Stark 2, and they were 67 for 5 at that point, and then a stand of 52 between Melissa Story, who got stumped off the last ball for 29, and Emily Geach with 32, giving Gloucestershire some respectability to their card. 119 for 6 at the end. 2 wickets for Porter, 2 wickets for Jackson, 1 each for Cobb and Reed for Glamorgan. They take the points, and we'll be back at about 5 minutes to 7 on the stream here on the Gloucestershire Cricket website for the start of the T20 blast for this season against Warwickshire Bears. We'll see you later.
For you personally, a fantastic partnership there.